So guys, today I want to talk about why I ran when I was around 13. So around from 12 to 13, I was bullied, so I had no friends in school, but I ran literally every day. So why did I do that? And before I tell my whole story, I wanted to share what would this help you? So by listening to this whole video, I hope to give you some um, actual facts about what running could benefit in your life before you start running. So let me start. So I ran, I think around 4 kilometers every day when I was like 12 to 13. And at that time I was bullied. So my mind was a bit of a mess. Um, when I was reading books, I couldn't really read. When I was at school, I couldn't really do school. My mind was a bit of a mess. But if I ran, that all disappeared. Right? So all that happened when I was 12, 13, and I grew up to be like 16 or 17 or something, and I learned about meditation. And the key of meditation is to intentionally not think. But that's really hard. So, like, I'll give you a quick example. Not think for now, for like 10 seconds. See, that was a bit hard because what happens is when you try to not think, what actually happens is, okay, not think. Well, that was a think. That was a thought. So I shouldn't think of that. Well, that was a thought. So I shouldn't think of that. Well, why is well spelled well? Like your brain's, it's hard to not think. Does that make sense? And I had the same thing. But when I ran when I was 12, 13, I couldn't think. So it's not don't think, it's couldn't possibly think. So there's a bit of a difference, but the end goal is the same, which is not thinking. And let me explain the two differences. So by not thinking, you mean by intentionally not having thoughts in your head, right? But when I ran, if I started thinking, I couldn't go. Because at that time, I was like at the peak of my lungs, that if I started thinking, I would fail. Like, if I started having logical thinking going on in my head, this whole illogical act I'm doing right now didn't make sense anymore. So I'd stop. But I had to go. And the only way I would go is to turn off my brain. Well, does that make sense? And I came into university. And I was born this way, so I'm gonna have this until I die. So I still got a lot of thoughts in my head, right? So I started meditation, didn't work, but it was kind of boring because I'm like a really messy person. I'm not like, but I have a lot of things going on in my head. So if I'm not super concentrated, I'm always distracted. So sitting down and doing this didn't really help me. And I remembered I used to run, so I did it, and it worked. So by running so hard, I couldn't think, and by not thinking, it kind of gave me peace in my brain, right? So, what's the best thing about running? I think that is best thing about running. Well, some people say it's healthy. Yeah, it is. But if I could say, should you run or not? What I want to say, what I really want to ask is, do you have a peace in mind? So running was basically like meditation for me. Maybe someone said this before. Maybe it's not. I'm the first one, but I'm just sharing my experience. So that's what I experienced. And if you're thinking about running, I do recommend it if you have a messy brain. And if you are already running, hope you guys related. And that's it for today. And I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.